Hey everyone, what's up? It's Fire Elemental here. I'm here to go over Domino's info with you so you can make the right choice on whether or not you're going to go for her. Personally, I don't think she's the best champ, but we're going to go over some appeals for her, and hopefully you will decide if you want her. Now, keep in mind, if you're going to go for the crystals, that Iron Man Infinity Wars is still in there as the sub-featured / repeat featured in there. So that's one appeal to those crystals. However, I think the main appeal to this arena will be the focus on 4-star Deadpool. Now, as everyone knows, there's 6 arenas for him. Each has 3 and 4 stars only. I have no clue what the cutoff will be. It's a 3-day arena, but I'm super excited to find out, especially to see how it interferes with Domino's cutoff. Now, without further ado, let's get down to our info. So, first things first, her dupe. Her dupe will make it so they take energy damage when their abilities fail to trigger. So this includes evade failing and regen failing, for instances. I'd like to know whether or not it includes just their champ abilities, like Dormammu inflicting degen on you, or if it's just talking about their dupe abilities, which they gain for instance, Blade recovering regen when he's duped. So that's something to look into later once the champ is out on Thursday. And I'm super excited to find out what happens. So there's a few other points, but we'll get to those later. So at the start of the fight, the opponent loses blah 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 critical rating and Domino gains the same amount. Now, the focus around her is mostly crits. And of course, she's the lucky champ. That's to be expected. Now, at the start of the fight, they lose 15% ability accuracy, yada yada, no big deal. And Domino's bleed tend to strike vital points, etc., etc. So basically, they're saying that they have a chance to do more, thus the critical bleed. So this is nice, but all in all, I think it may improve the bleed by maybe half. So if it does 200 per tick at rank 4 or 5 star, it might do 300 per tick if it's a critical bleed. But of course, this is all speculation, and we'll see later on. Probably won't even do that much. Anyway, so the bleed tends to grace, 50% chance to expire after 1 second. Whenever a bleed expires prematurely, she gains 10% of her power early. That I like, though. I mean, at first glance, it's not that great. However, her main basis is gaining power and what happens when she fulfills a bar of power. And we're going to get into that when we get to her lucky and unlucky strikes. Well, when she's unlucky and lucky. So, moving on, all attacks benefit from attack rating and critical damage selected at random. I like to know what it means by selected at random. It's not quite clear. Maybe it means the attacks will be crit at random. Not sure. A critical hit with a maximum roll in both attack and critical damage results in a perfect critical hit that inflicts stun for 1 to 3 seconds. Now, at first glance, you might think, wow, this is really good. She can stun opponents for 1 to 3 seconds. That's just enough for me to get back in there with a counter with a medium attack by the end of a 5-hit combo. But at second glance, it says a maximum roll. It's not revealed how many rolls there are. This could be just a simple thing of 1 or 2 and 4, and both of them for critical damage and attack. So it's a 25%, but it may be something as much as like 10%, if that. So it really depends on what happens in game. Now, heavy attacks, if the opponent's stunned, attack rating is increased by 2,500, for instance. Now, this seems like a lot, and I have decently high hopes for this. Honestly, this month's champs aren't exactly my favorite, but we can get into those later. Blocking benefit from block proficiency at random. They're really pushing the whole random thing. Like, just say once in a while, she'll get block proficiency or something. I don't know. It's just annoying me. A block with 5,677 block proficiency or higher results in a perfect block. Well, I mean, I guess they're kind of saying that this is Domino's ability, but if you have that high of a block proficiency, it's probably going to be 0 anyway. Reducing incoming attack damage to 0 and granting 10% of maximum power instantly. That I like, though. That seems nice for Blade's second special, because there's all the different bullets, or Falcon's first special, and so on. If there's a lot of hits to be blocked, there's a lot of power to be gained. The real question is how often that will happen. Anyway, I want to try to keep this semi-brief, so let's get back to it. When fulfilling a bar of power, 30% chance to gain a lucky passive, 25% an opponent's current combo is added to this. Now, I'd really like to know what it means by Domino's current combo count. Like, is it multiplied by each one? Is it multiplied by part of one? Is it depending on if it's odd or even? But, I don't know. We'll see. 30% chance for opponents to suffer an unlucky passive. 25% of the opponent's current combo count is added to this chance. Same thing there. Lucky and unlucky effects last for a long random duration between 1 and 5 seconds, plus 1.5 additional seconds for each bar of power. Blah, blah, blah. Skill champs are always unlucky. Tech champs are never unlucky. This is really key info, because if you're going to use her as an attacker or defender, this is pretty much needed. You'll see why in a few seconds. You know what? Forget it. You're going to see it now. Where is it? Unlucky. Right here. 100% chance for evade or dexterity mastery to fail. That's if they're unlucky. So that might be good on defense. However, if they see a skill, if they see a mutant champ, they might not use Blade, but, who knows? We'll see. So getting back to where we should be, lucky passive, crit rates, crit damage, ability accuracy, block proficiency, blah, blah, blah. 10% chance to evade special attacks. I don't really like that. That tends to interfere with the blocking thing we mentioned earlier, and you might not recover from that evade. It's like when you're using LOL Ultron. He's going to evade once every 7 seconds, so it's a pain. When you try to use dexterity, you might get countered because the evade kicks in. Stun expires 35% faster. This seems like an unlucky passive, but I'm assuming this means stun that's applied to her. Domino is more likely to earn a high roller when selecting attack rating, blah, 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 blah. You can read that. Unlucky passive, crit rate, critical damage rating, crit resistance, all go up. 35% ability accuracy, block proficiency goes up. And, of course, my favorite one, 100% chance for evade or dexterity mastery to fail. Now, luckily, you can just probably block it unless it's unblockable special, but you'd still have to get unlucky enough for the unlucky passive to be applied to you. So that's something to be thought about, though. If she's on a power gain node, you might be able to put her there, even though there's many better champs for this. You might be able to put her on that. She gains power, gets unlucky on you, and uses a special. It's pretty much, you just have to block it. You can't evade it. But even so, that's not too bad. Block the first part. No, you'd still be, dexterity mastery would still fail. So for uncollected event, I highly suggest everyone just blocking or specials. Because otherwise you're going to get a special to the face and you're going to come crying on the forums about it. Or to chats. Go to the forums instead. I don't read the forums. I don't want to deal with your crap. Anyway, so the first special, each hit has a 25% chance to inflict bleed, blah blah blah, over 7 seconds. If Domino's lucky, it refreshes all stun and bleed effects. Again, we don't know the chance of her being lucky, but probably not the best chance, but let's just assume it's 50-50. 50% chance you're lucky, 50% chance you're unlucky. This attack has blah 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 attack rating for each second that passed since the time Domino hit. Last time Domino was hit with a special attack. Now, this is what has me hopeful. Now, the third special might be a little hopeful, but the first special is really getting me hopeful, because it's 500 plus attack rating for every second that's passed in the fight. Now, let's be honest, you're not going to be hit with a special unless you mess up, and if that's the case, come on. Try just a little bit harder, unless it's like a certain node in AW, but you get the point. So this might be pretty good. So that's something to look out for. However, I wouldn't get too excited because most fights only last 90 seconds to 2 minutes in AW. So, but even so, that's still not too bad. So just spam first specials might be good. Second special, each hit has 25% chance to inflict bleed, dealing, you guys try to make the best of that. I can't tell if that's 6,000 or 2,000. I'm assuming 2,000. Direct damage over 7 seconds. If Domino's lucky, their attack raises. If they're unlucky, their opponent is taunted. That's nice. However, it's not the easiest taunt to apply. If you want taunt, stick to Deadpool Gold or Stark Spider-Man. Anyway, moving on. The third special, 74% chance to inflict bleed, dealing that direct damage over 7 seconds. If Domino's lucky, this attack has plus 75.46 attack rating for every critical hit with a maximum of 100. They're learning from their mistakes. They see they got max numbers now, but honestly, that doesn't seem that great because she still has to get lucky. If she's unlucky, then you just wasted all those critical hits before it. So, whatever. If they're unlucky, the attack inflicts armor break, removing 1 armor up and reducing armor for blah 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 for 4 seconds. Now, what I really want to know is, let's say you're 100 hits in or something. You're 60 hits in. Something like that, into LOL, for instance. You use a third special, you get unlucky. Well, the opponent gets unlucky. It armor breaks. My real question is that, if that happens, if you use a third special again and it gets lucky, would that count the crits used before the previous third special, or is it since the activation of the third special? That's something to keep in mind. Now, sorry for the delay. Let's get to synergies and we can finish up this video. Sorry that it's really long, but we'll try to blaze through it. So, Domino, 10% damage against champs that aren't female or robots. Deadpool, first special, 50% crit rate against female that aren't female or robots. That's nice, but I have a hard time believing it's going to be applied much because you'd still have to use Deadpool and Domino in a team, and you're not really going to use 4-star Deadpool for Act 6 and AQ, I guess, but why would you bring Domino to map 5? But whatever. X-Force, each time Domino performs a parry, the chance for her to be lucky by 10%. That's good. However, you really going to use Deadpool X-Force? No, you're not. Maybe you're 6-star, though. That might be nice. Bleed deals 20% more damage. His bleed's pretty good, so if you're using a 6-star Deadpool X-Force, I guess. Honestly, I wouldn't use Domino, though. It really will depend on how her unlucky status and lucky status depends when she gains a bar of power, but I have a hard time believing she's going to make a splash in the Contest of Champions. Anyway, Weapon X Strike Force team, blah blah blah. Well, Strike team, whatever. Each time Domino avoids an attack by dashing back, luck increases by 6%. Old Man Logan. Regen and Fury are 12% more effective. This is nice. Little nod to another semi-good champ. Don't quote me on that. I was thinking of the rank 5-star Old Man Logan video where he gains 60 health per tick. So I figured 12%, third time's the charm. 12% more of that. It's like, what, 8% or something? 8 extra health per tick. Oh well. Mercs for money, blah blah blah. Here, in my opinion, is the best synergy. Massacre for at the start of the fight, when ignition expires, gain between 1 to 5 ignition charges. He needs 10 for the bat to be lit. So that's pretty good because once he does that, he gets critical hits, well, critical damage, whatever, and we'll go into that further on. Debuffs lasts 1% longer for Domino, whatever. There's the little red Hulk one. Heavy attacks inflict Incinerate that deals damage equal to the heavy attacks damage over 2 seconds. It's not exactly the most clear thing. I'm assuming that means that it doubles the damage, because it says that it applies it over 2 seconds, and plus the hits you already do, so it's not terrible, but not really noteworthy. Second special consumes 1 less heat charge and recovers 18% more health. Now, keep in mind, this is 18% of the 5%, not 23% in total. So, keep that in mind. I'm sure we're still going to see people talking about that. So, anyway, better luck next time if Domino is never hit with a special attack while both lucky and unlucky were active. Then she gains 2% chance to activate them during her next fight. That's such a crap synergy. MODOK and Task, whatever. Bleed abilities last 2% longer, whatever. Romance, all teams gain 5% power gain. Whoop-de-doo. It's complicated. Much like your abilities, dear. Domino, start the fight with either lucky or unlucky activated for 7 seconds. Teammates, all teammates have 15% armor rating and power gain. So basically, she's not terrible. I wouldn't go for her personally. I think she's not that great, and I encourage people to focus on 4-star Deadpool. We're going to have a gold pool video out tomorrow before he's dropped, and I look forward for everyone's reactions when someone pulls gold pool. And I think that's it for this video. Let me know if there's any comments you want to go over about Domino, and if you want to have a discussion on whether or not her first special is going to make a big deal in the fight. Let me know, and I'm always happy to discuss things with you. Anyway, that's it for now. This is Fire Elemental signing off, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.